Hi, my name is Justin, and I suffer from something called sleep paralysis. A lot of you probably know what sleep paralysis is, but in case you don't, sleep paralysis happens when you're waking up from REM sleep, and your mind is awake. If your eyes are open, you can actually see things, you can hear things, but you can't move because your body is still asleep. Um, it's just a discoordination between the two. And during that time, your imagination is very active. It is incredibly active and is very susceptible to well, all the craziness that you can think of. Um, it's a very terrifying feeling. Well, some people, it's a very terrifying feeling. The common theme that seems to be with a lot of people who suffer from sleep paralysis is that there's an evil entity. In fact, there are a lot of people refer to it as the entity. Some of the witch trials in Salem, uh, some of the victims claimed that they were being attacked by a witch or by someone, and one of the things that actually started the Salem witch trials. People attach religious significance to it, and rightfully so, because it really feels like it. Um, but whatever the case is, there's an evil entity in the room, and it's threatening, and it's just the fear is so real and so terrifying that it's hard to break out of that. Um, that usually is the common theme. But some people have sleep paralysis, and it's not that bad. Some people have sleep paralysis, and they just wake up and they can't move, and there's no fear there. There's nothing. They're just like, I can't move. Some people, it's almost euphoric. It's something called lucid dreaming. There's a whole community of people on YouTube that do lucid dreaming. Because I was looking at this and I'm thinking, what, really? No, you don't want to let yourself into this. But hey, I mean, to each their own. Um, some people can control it. Some people can. Actually have that mental ability, that willpower, to tell themselves that this is not going to be a bad dream. That this is going to be a happy dream with clown. Well, clowns are spooky. I mean, they can influence the dreams basically with a thought. It's actually one of the things that I try to do when I wake up into sleep paralysis to try and make it bearable. But it's pretty terrifying. I've had sleep paralysis probably since I was a kid. Um, I can remember listening to a Pirates baseball game. I'm from Pennsylvania. Don't judge. They used to be a good team. I'm listening to a baseball game, and I was drifting into sleep, and my body was kind of dead weight. My body was asleep. My mind wasn't, but it was almost there. And then this advertisement came on the radio, and it was about a ghost story or something like that. And they kept on repeating the word ghost, and it just resonated in my head. And my imagination took over, and first time I experienced something like that, it was terrifying. Um, I've had it ever since, but it really didn't get that bad. There's two types of sleep paralysis. Okay, there's one I'm not sure if it's genetic or not. Um, One of the things with sleep paralysis is that there's a receptor in your brain that keeps your mind and your body in sync, literally, and it just doesn't work right. It's it's just it's like your brain isn't firing on all of its cylinders. Imagine being colorblind. It's just something up there isn't connecting properly. It's not like it's a harsh kind of like a full-on mental case or nothing like that. It's just something's not right, and we do have a family history of like little things like that. I don't think we have anyone autistic or anything like that in our family, but so I think I have the genetic one because one of the traits of the genetic sleep paralysis is that you have it. It's reoccurring and it's kind of on a schedule, like PMS. Uh, the other one is something I think almost everyone has at least once or twice in their life. Um, Usually it's like it only lasts like a minute. It's like either going into sleep or waking up from REM sleep. You can't move and yada yada yada. It's not like you don't have it all the time. Right, what I'm trying to say here. Um, my cycle for sleep paralysis usually goes something like this. I'll have it very harshly for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then I won't have it for about 3 or 4 months. Then I'll have it for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I won't have it for 3 or 4 months. Sometimes it's longer, sometimes it's shorter, but it basically keeps that schedule. So I get it a couple times a year. And I have a few tricks that I try to do um, to try and make it bearable. Yeah, they're kind of unorthodox, and they really sound kind of silly. I guess I should describe my experience first before I tell you like what I do to try and stop it. So when I'm going to sleep, if I find myself drifting off into that state that I told you about before, that I experienced when I was a kid, where your body's asleep, your mind's not quite there yet, and you get that vibrating feeling. It's not, you don't. It's not like a feeling of heart attack, or it's nothing like that at all. It's just, it's like that shiver you get before you go to the bathroom, for like a, lack of a better term here. But but you get it during your sleep. If I experience that, I know for a fact I'm gonna wake up into that, horrifying hell. But usually, I mean, I'll have that about 3 or 4 times before I go to sleep, before I actually enter like REM sleep, the deepest part of your sleep where your mind works out all of its problems. And then I'll wake up, and that's where the really scary stuff happens. Uh, I'll wake up, I'll have like 1 second or something like that, just a very small window of opportunity of rational thought, and then imagination takes over, and it goes wild. Like without Snoop Dogg, imagination gone wild. All right, and so it's like instead, I don't hallucinate. Some people hallucinate. Some people actually see these entities or whatever. What I have I just have a very strong feeling. The best way I can describe it to you is like if you see something out of the corner of your eye, for that second that you feel that you saw something out of the corner of your eye, it's not normal. It's something that's very, it almost feels paranormal, but it's that feeling, but it's amplified so much more. So then the imagination takes over, like I said, and I have 3 headless women running around my bed. Okay, it sounds incredibly silly to say it out loud like that, but during the dream, it's absolutely terrifying. It lasts usually for me, about an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. I've had it one time where it was like 2 hours that I was like that. It's the longer you stay in this, the more terrifying it becomes, because your rational thought just ticks away with every second, it seems like, and when this fear takes over you, you can't. I've never broken out of it. Like I said, I have these little tricks that I do to break me out of it, but one of the tricks that I do is if I feel that vibration, if I feel that I'm gonna have sleep paralysis, because those feelings that I get when I'm drifting into sleep, they're usually precursors that I'm gonna wake up in this hell. What I'll do is I'll have a few glasses of whiskey. I know it's. I'm not saying that you should become a full-on alcoholic. It'd be horrible for me to say that, but it really does help sometimes. I don't think I've ever had sleep paralysis after like a glass of whiskey. Another thing I do, I try not to sleep on my back. For some reason, especially if you have bad posture. Now, I don't have bad posture, but if I sleep on my back, because I get sleep paralysis a lot, I almost always get it, or at least one form of it. It's not always horrible, but so I sleep on my stomach. I just kind of learned how to train myself to do that over the years. It doesn't. Sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't, because I toss and turn a lot, and I usually end up on my back anyways. This is going to sound really ridiculous, but I'll take the most less threatening thing I have in my DVD collection, and I'll put it on. I'll put it on repeat. And so if I wake up in this, it's not going to help me. See, it won't help me wake up from sleep paralysis. It won't help me. It doesn't help you much more than just it makes it bearable to deal with. I mean, there may be 3 headless women running around your bed, but hey, there's Daffy Duck and whatever space thing he does with Marvin the Martian. So those are some of the tricks that I do. I also, like, if I find myself, if I feel myself going into this, I'll, if I'm lucky enough, I'll go down, grab something to eat, something that makes me tired, like turkey. I mean, these are ridiculous little things, but they actually do help me out and they make it bearable. And so that's basically my little rant. Hope this helps you out. If you have sleep paralysis, or if you know someone who does have it, I really feel for them. It's a terrifying experience. Hopefully, the one of the ones that doesn't have the terrifying experience, but you can always rest assured knowing you're not going to die. I don't think anyone has had a heart attack um, through this. I really don't even think your heart rate increases. Uh, you can move. I mean, I've woken up like from doing this. I'm like trying to will myself awake. I've woken up so tense that sometimes I can't move for like a couple minutes, like 10, 15 minutes or so, because I'm just so tense. I've actually had claw marks inside my hand from doing that. It's it's a very real fear and it's horrifying. And like I said, I hope this helps you guys out. And that's that. Time for bed.